Let's go.
What's going on, boys and girls? It's your boy Sage, man. I'm coming here, man, doing a personal favorite of what I've been trying to do for a long time, and I finally got all the chickens in a row so that they can hatch, and it's really going. You already know this is the Agenda
Yeah, you should
Podcast.
go.
We will change that name
Nigga
very,
said
very,
chicken.
very soon. You feel me? But right now I got some special guests. We'll start off with the one that wanted to interrupt my whole intro and not know how to be professional yet, even though he's a podcast professional. I got my man Ambi here. What's going on, Ambi? How you doing? How you doing? With the polo shirt. Don't let the polo shirt fool you. He's not professional.
I'm not.
I got my
I'm
man.
not.
I got my boy next to him. I got my boy. What do you want me to call you here? You say your name. Say your Discord.
Say his
Dope as
social.
fuck.
Fuck
Dope
it.
as fuck.
You
Dope-
can tell
yeah.
my government, you tell my government, bro. Let them know. Let them know.
I
You chilling
bet,
with
yes.
Jonathan Christian Mendez. You're
Oh.
that's dope as
Wait.
You-
His last name is Mendez?
Yes, sir.
His last name is.
I-
Ain't no way, dog. Ain't no way, bro.
Primo.
Ain't
you
no
guys,
way.
you guys are related.
That's
So I
what
got
my
man-
parents' name. You know, I can't say
Nah,
nothing
nah,
about
yo.
that.
Now I gotta say my name. Nigga. I'm Yeris Jose Mendez. Nigga. We out here, bro.
All right, we're just doxing
Yeah.
each other on this podcast. It's crazy. All right.
Wow.
My name is
Yeah.
Sage
You know
Elias.
somebody. You got the info now.
No.
All right,
Yeah,
that's my boy
Alright,
Johnny. You feel me?
Any info, just know, put the credit score up. All right.
All right,
a
yeah,
little bit.
100%,
Right?
100%, 100%.
Are
Yo,
you 700 ain't gonna hurt me? You know what I mean?
feel me? That's my boy Johnny right
I live comfortably at like a 700.
For sure,
You
for
know?
sure. And that's my boy Johnny right there, man. You know, very excited to have him. First podcast debut. As you can see, he's a little excited, a little ambitious.
Oh, my bad.
You
That's
know?
just my energy.
Nah, it's perfect. Perfect. You know, right here I got my
Crazy.
man Ishigo, my brother in crime, tag team showdown.
Yeah.
Had to take him away. How you feeling, Ishigo? How's it going?
Yo, my name is Ishigo Knight. I'm a content creator, singer, songwriter, now a podcaster. What the hell? We're just doing random stuff as
You're an
our
artist.
like life
You're an
journey.
artist. You're
Just
an
You're an
artist
artist,
now.
bro.
Crazy,
You're an
right?
You're an
artist.
artist.
just-
You're
you're
a
an artist.
content
Making
artist.
art.
Yeah, you just make art, bro.
Content artist is dope. That's type fire. We should put that out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, Dominican, you already know we from New York and stuff like that. And I'm glad to be here. Let's talk some shit.
Let's talk some shit, man. Right here, man. I got the man, the myth, the legend. I'm not gonna lie. I've been laughing at his Mike Tyson impression that it's been popping up on my IG reels like algorithm all the time, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. The man, the wizard himself, my man Merlin Magic, man. What's up, Merlin? How's it
Yo,
going?
what's up? What's up?
We will also
Going
have
good, going good.
I'm so sorry. We will also have Mama Gamer here. She's coming in a little late, doing super Mama G things. But yeah, like you were saying, Merlin, how's it going? Introduce yourself to everybody, man. Let them know. who
Going
you are.
good. For those who don't know, Mama Gamer is my girl. We recently had a baby, so I am first time daddy, and
Word.
it's
Oh, yeah.
been a blessing.
Welcome to the
so
jungle.
far.
I was gonna
Oh,
say, yo,
appreciate that.
welcome to hell.
Welcome to the jungle, Papa.
Yeah.
Kids,
Other than
man,
being a
kids are
newly
a
father.
beautiful curse.
Oh yeah.
Kids are a
Thank you.
beautiful curse, man, and they gonna make your life so much better.
I look forward
That's,
to it.
that's
I look
facts,
forward
bro.
to it. I'm also a gamer, and look forward to raising a little gamer as well.
Sir.
Wonderful
Sir, man.
impersonator as well. He does great impersonations. He doesn't mention that enough. This is why we
But-
have
but-
him in here.
but
We
why-
actually
why do I
just
feel
wanted
why do I-
Daffy
why do I
Duck.
feel like- Why do I feel like almost
Daffy
every
Duck.
Dominican
Donald
can
Duck,
do
sorry.
Donald Duck?
Donald, man. Jesus.
I've heard so many
Make you
Dominicans
think
do a Donald Duck impersonation. It's perfect, bro.
Really? Yeah, it's a Dominican thing. I didn't
Dominican
know
thing.
that. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
that's
a
our
little bit,
thing.
a little bit.
That's
Hey.
ours. We took that.
Puerto Ricans, we just sound like we kill people and we do drugs. That's just what Puerto
Right,
Ricans do.
relax.
I'm sorry.
Calm down.
I'm sorry.
Y'all sound
I'm
like
sorry. I'm sorry.
because y'all sound like y'all don't speak Spanish. Put it
yeah,
that
we
way.
sound like we sound like
I'll tell you
English.
right now.
We sound
this
like
Puerto Rican
English
don't.
all the time. Like you
Wait,
know?
what? There's more of you here?
Nah, hold on. Yo,
You
Johnny.
thought-
Yo,
wait,
Johnny,
wait,
you can't be
before we
saying
even
that
get
in the
there.
pod, bro.
I
You
had to,
found
bro.
the
I had
one
to,
other
I had
Puerto
to, only
Rican that don't
because,
speak
bro,
Spanish.
the only reason I dropped that little bit of information is because it is worldwide known. that
Nigerians.
Americanized Puerto Ricans don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, no
You're-
sabo kids. Yeah,
the no sabo
Nigerians.
kids?
Yeah, that's a fact.
Nah, I mean, you know, it's a little offensive to say no sabo kids. You know, it's kids that know
Oh,
sabe.
wow.
You feel me? You know,
Yeah.
And then-
Nintendo
Yeah,
Spanish.
we Nintendo Spanish. You feel me?
Nintendo.
Like
They be
it's
like,
what it
yo,
is.
you listen to reggaeton?
Like, yo, I love
Yeah,
reggaeton.
I
Aventura.
love the
Raymond?
reggaeton.
Aventura is my
Aventura?
favorite band. Like, I love those guys. Like,
The hell?
but as you guys can see here, it's a pod of just a bunch of layman's dudes coming in here. We're gonna talk about the hot and spicy stuff that happens in the mainstream media, but we're not gonna actually give the agenda little flip that everybody does. We're not gonna talk about we're not gonna say triggering things just to get clips. We're actually gonna have actual conversations, and there's no better
Damn
way
it.
to start. Yeah,
Fuck.
Ambi, I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually lied to you. I actually told
You
Ambi.
can't tell me what to do. You ain't my
screamed at my
daddy, and I know who he is.
I actually
well,
lied.
I don't know
You
who
lucky.
mine is, so I don't know
I-
about that.
He
I
lucky
actually
on this
lied.
thing. This
I
nigga
actually
lucky.
lied to Ambi. I
I'm a
told
Castillo,
Ambi.
you know. Castillos find their paths.
I actually told Ambi. I said, "Hey, come on." I said, "Yo, come in here. Say all the triggering stuff you want. Clip farm, everything." It was actually a
He fucked
big
me up.
lie. You know, I tried to pull the military on him. I tried to promise him a Camaro. He didn't want to believe it. But we're gonna start off the first topic right off the bat. I want to talk about Diddy. I don't want to talk about the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I don't want to talk about the goodie bags he used to leave his guests after the freak offs. I want to talk about the word human trafficking in itself. And I know technically Diddy did do human trafficking. He did take one person from out of the country and locate them in another country for sexual needs and stuff like that. But I want to talk about human trafficking, and is what he is labeled as a human trafficker, is it labeled as what we
Yeah.
grew up remembering? You know, like what I said before the pod, you know, when I remember human trafficking, it was like these billionaires, you know, and TV there was always Asian. I don't know why. But they would get these Asian women, put them in cargo ships, right? And then they would travel them from a cargo ship to across the country to another country. And then that's how they'll make it in America. And then they'll pay them, you know, you got to do sex for stuff like that. So is that the same thing? We can go around, pop. We
I
can
mean,
pop
it
and
kind
run it up.
of it kind of sounds like it if you really put it like that. Because although you are putting it down to what you remember as, you know, with the Asian women getting sent around doing sex things, stuff like that, that's kind of the same thing in the reference of Diddy. You know, he was having these females come, regardless of where he picked them out from. They had to have originated from somewhere to end up in that closed location. So that would be a form of trafficking because you're taking one individual from one area, putting them in the next, and then using them for sexual needs.
But hold on, did he do it in an unlawful way, or did he legally transfer them?
Now,
Because
so-
human trafficking is unlawful
Right.
moving.
And was there consent at the beginning and then switched over? Because
Yep.
there's a lot of problems here to that was like, to my knowledge, other than like Asian, it was like Middle Eastern. Like, you know how the movie Taken has like
Mhm.
all the movie Hostel. Those
Yeah.
were real life situations that happened when they trafficked people, tortured them, did a whole bunch of shit for entertainment or what have you. And then we got to see a protagonist that's supposed to be a hero, but the reality is we don't see that such protagonist on a daily basis. But I asked about the consent thing because consent is a major thing nowadays, right?
Right.
The Me Too movement created that we have to consent before anything. I was out with a girl a couple months ago, bro, and she was kind of upset at the fact that I asked permission about everything. She thought I was soft, and I was like, no, I'm being
I like this.
direct
Yeah,
about
this is
what I
good.
want.
This is
And
good. Yeah.
cautious, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna say cautious because then she gonna get scared and be like, "Espérate, what is
No,
this?
no, no, that's for the-
Where
that's
we
for the
going?"
Are you
That's for
Joe
the chat.
Goldberg?
That's for the
You
chat.
know?
You know what I'm saying? For
That's
us,
for the
you know,
chat.
it's
But in
like,
reality, he's making sure that he's set up in a way that's not gonna bite him in the ass later. It sounds fucked up when you use the word caution, but in reality, that's where we're at in times. Is that you gotta make sure that everybody's on the same page, or at the fucking drop of a dime, something could switch up, and now you caught up in something that was never the case.
Okay, Marilyn?
Right.
Everybody's getting sensitive, though. You can't even tell somebody what they need to hear anymore. They only want to hear what they want to hear because if you don't, you're gonna get canceled. Everybody
Brennan,
got salt.
what do you think,
Yeah,
Brennan?
I mean, I think in Diddy's case,
Mm-hmm.
what the amount of power that this man has, like he could have easily promised people certain things, whether it be money, whether it be opportunity, whatever, a deal. These people, they go for it. So sometimes it's all about will, whether they willingly went to these parties, these freak offs, whatever, or because trafficking comes with against your will. If you're being
Right.
transported against your will, that's trafficking. But if they
Isn't
willingly
that
went,
wouldn't that fall into the lines of kidnapping? Being taken
yeah,
against
It's
your
it,
will?
I think
oh,
trafficking is kidnapping.
Yeah,
It's
just
it's
big.
all in the
I
It's
feel
same
like
to
human.
it's I
me.
It's
feel like
big
it's on
boy.
like a
It's big
branch.
boy. Yeah, it's big boy kidnapping. It's adult napping, basically.
Right, right. But in this case, for in order you're taking people to for sexual activities or gain, then and then you probably promise them something and then it's totally the opposite, or they don't get what they promised. That's where they go ahead and then they turn around and say that it was forced or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So that could
Yeah,
be the
there's a
case.
I
there's
love
that
that.
thin line, like even with like when like rape cases and like, have you ever looked at the news at certain articles how there's been like these so-called rape cases, statutory rape? Oh, he was overage, she was underage, but then later on, like the guy gets out, and everybody's like, "What the hell? Like, how did he get off of it?" And it turns out to be that there was, it was consensual the whole time, and then when the guy decided to maybe switch up and be like, I want to break up or something like that, instead of a teenager taking it, in a certain way, she decides to like run home, and the parents make all these assumptions, and then they build the entire case without actually hearing out the person who's telling you the story. Like,
Yeah.
and then getting the other side so you can understand both aspects. And this is just, one sample.
Isn't
I'm not
isn't
generalizing the whole
isn't
thing.
isn't that the same thing that happened to Nicki Minaj's husband when he was
Not.
15?
No, actually, no.
Somewhere
That
around
was
that area,
something
actually.
different.
Yeah.
He didn't he like for sodomy though. Like
He
he did.
he no he did it with
No.
a girl that was the same age as him,
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
but
put it up. If my research is wrong, unless I read the wrong fucking article, but that girl was the same age as him, and he ended up on the list somehow.
okay. So wow, that's
I could be
crazy. I didn't
wrong.
know that.
I
No,
could
I
be
didn't know
wrong.
that.
I don't
But I
know.
believe that. But when it
I
comes
thought he
to
was older than the girl. I thought it
when
was
it
something like that.
when it
He was the
comes to
same age.
what Ichigo said, right? It's funny because like it's true. Like not even that scenario. You can even talk about this Diddy scenario when they were trying to get Jay-Z into it, and then they had this witness that was saying or bringing up all these celebrities. Yeah, I was at the party with this person. I was with this person. I was talking to this person, and then when they all came out, it shined light. One celebrity was like, I wasn't even at that party. I was on tour and there's dates. And he showed the dates of his tour. And he was like, at that time, I was in this country doing this. So like that didn't make any sense. So it's like a lot of those stories come out where you come out at first where I feel like, which I'm not saying that Diddy's an innocent person, which I want everybody to
No,
podcast.
heck no.
Yeah, I don't feel like anybody here is saying, yo, Diddy's innocent, Diddy's all this
Nah.
stuff. Nah.
I'm not I'm not
He's
Diddy's
saying,
guilty.
yeah,
That's
he's
strong.
you know what I'm saying?
guilty.
Like I'm not saying he's guilty, but I'm not saying the people there are also not guilty. Like him
Exactly.
taking it all the like by himself is what I'm finding fucked up, because what I want, to be honest, is for Diddy to snitch and tell everybody, like, give us a list of all of those motherfuckers that are there, and then hang all of them people. You know what I'm saying? Like, put cases on all of those people, because you don't know how far that line was going. Like, Diddy could have just been the innocent bystander person that just happens to have the crib so that they could pull it together, and then the shit goes haywire, and he's like, oh
He
shit.
was probably the scapegoat. He could have
You
been the
know what I'm
scapegoat.
saying? Like I'm not putting him out there as innocent. I'm just saying he could have been the scapegoat too. Like, I'm not saying he didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But then
no,
when
man. From
shit
what I
went awry, you see like, oh snap. But that's what I'm saying. There's
Exactly.
the scenario to me is so much bigger than just Diddy. because now you're putting politicians, you're putting celebrities, you're putting NBA players, a bunch of different athletes, like politicians from other countries that Diddy was around. Because Diddy's a world-renowned name. This is not a person that's just United States celebrity. This is a world-renowned household name. He had people from all over the world want to go to his parties. You know what I'm saying? So that when I look at it like that, I'm like, how far did this man go? Because he wasn't even eating at the jail. He didn't even want to eat the food in case they were trying to poison him. And I was like, what you hiding? Who was there with you
That's
that
like the
you could be
case of
like,
Epstein. It's like the same thing with Epstein, bro. And we all know that Epstein didn't kill himself, right? Am I right?
nah,
No,
I
of
mean,
course
not
we
we
didn't.
all know. My boy had a security.
No,
My
that
boy
didn't
had
happen.
24/7 security, and they were like, "Nah, we didn't see him do that." What?
No,
What
no,
were
no,
y'all
no, no, no,
doing?
no. That's what they told us he had. We weren't there. We didn't see his fucking security. There
Nah,
was
he
no
wrote.
videos of his security.
Nah, but if he's in solitary confinement, he has 24/7 surveillance.
Solitary. You know how many niggas die in jail even when they're in solitary
They
confinement?
let them
That don't
die.
matter.
But that's the big thing into the prisons. You know, I don't want to get into a conspiracy. You know, tinfoil hat, the Earth is flat,
we
Yeah.
already
gravity
there,
isn't
bro.
real.
Just
You
just
know.
Yeah,
take the
we
hat
already
off.
there, bro.
All
Hey,
right, bet.
I'm
This
all
whole
for conspiracies, bro.
Isn't
All
this
right,
what the
bet.
podcast about?
Yo,
and I
shout out
know,
to
I
Mama
He
know,
tried to
Gamer.
switch it up at the beginning, Mama Gamer. He
yo,
tried to be slick. He
and I
brought it
know,
right back.
and I know this is random. Not to get off topic, we'll go right back into it. But the CEO of Celsius just got sentenced 12 years for fraud market manipulation.
All
Just
right,
wanted to say
cool.
that out there.
All right,
So
cool.
keep
Yeah.
drinking
You gotta.
So
Celsius
like,
for all y'all
it's
nasty
big. So
motherfuckers.
on the prison.
Sounds like
Oh,
that
that
So
shit.
guy.
so if we get big on prison conspiracies, right? A lot of prisons like they let their inmates die because like they get like money off of that. Like it's all
Yeah,
been
insurance.
connected in a web. They get insurance, they save space, and then nobody really cares if an inmate dies, you know? Like nobody
But
cares.
if we're talking about Epstein, you can make so many things look like an accident and get such a big fucking check. So I'm pretty sure his wasn't an accident, and
Nah,
then
I'm a
whatever jail he
thousand
was
percent
in got
sure.
a big fucking check,
I'm a thousand
a
percent sure
really
it
big.
wasn't an accident. I'm 100% sure they gave him the blanket to hang himself on that. They were like, look, you either do this, or I promise you, you won't make it to your court date, and we're gonna assassinate you on the way. I promise you, that's gonna happen. Because we can take hit regardless. They can take a hit of, oh, we didn't see him kill himself. We can take the same hit of, oh, we were transporting him to court and somebody just took our armored vehicle over and shot him. He was a known activist against child trafficking. He was a crazy person. Boom, like So like they can play it no any other way that they want. So it's like when it comes to that, like you really start thinking like, and then you connect it to like I don't know if y'all saw this interview. Who was somebody? Oh, it's a comedian was talking about Diddy, and he was saying how like Diddy's father was connected to Frank Lucas. And for those of y'all who don't know who Frank Lucas is,
Wow.
American
Oh
gangster,
yeah, because
Yeah,
he
Denzel
was from
Washington.
Harlem. That's right.
You know,
yeah,
The
he was
OG in
connected.
Harlem.
whoever
Yeah.
that guy that Denzel played, that's Frank Lucas, and Diddy's dad
Right.
was.
Diddy has said it before
Yeah.
that his dad used to be with Frank Lucas. Diddy has said that before.
It's
He
like
actually had a promo run with the whole Frank Lucas, and Diddy was actually part of a show that was dedicated to Harlem gangsters from that time, and he played a
Yeah,
character.
so. I believe that Diddy is wrong. I believe that Diddy is wrong. I just feel like what they're trying to get him on this human trafficking. It kind of reminds me back when you remember when they couldn't get the mob back in the day.
Right.
The mob was just working them every single time. And then they made up the RICO thing, would just make up this whole law, push this shit through, connect it through a domino effect. I feel like this is a white man's RICO situation happening. We can't get him on beating on Cassidy because Cassidy actually signed a plea deal and she's not gonna press charges on him. We can't get him on blowing up Kid Cudi's car because Kid Cudi isn't talking about it. All these criminal things that we can get him on is like, yo, we can't get him on none of this. So let's just get him on this human trafficking. That kind of makes sense. It kind of fits all the pieces. And let's
Right.
just
What
get him
about
in on.
Biggie?
What about Biggie?
You think
Damn.
You think Biggie was in the freak offs
Bro,
with the red
there's
and
been
black?
no.
Oh.
There's been rumors, conspiracy
He was
rumors
at the beginning because
that
little
Diddy
kid
had
was there.
something to do with Biggie Smalls' murder.
Oh yeah, I heard
Well,
about
not
that.
even think
Real?
that's been a thing.
Oh.
That's been a thing forever, though.
You know
That's been a thing
what?
for a
I
while.
That's
did.
been a
I
thing
did hear that. I did
forever.
hear that. But
Yeah.
now, okay, cool. So let's all play this then. Let's all play this. Why would he take out his biggest cash cow?
He wanted to leave the label.
He was
Biggie
about to leave the
probably-
label. Yeah, that's what that was the issue.
Oh, he was about to
Biggie
leave
was
the label.
Biggie was
Because
about to
Tupac
go
was
with
trying to
his-
leave the label too.
Yeah, Biggie and Tupac. Biggie was about to leave Bad Boys to go do his own thing with Junior Mafia. He was about to go do his own thing. He was already big as shit. He wasn't big because of Diddy. He was because my boy was hot.
Nah,
Right.
And
Biggie
then the same
made
thing with
Diddy.
Tupac.
Biggie made Diddy big, if anything.
Yeah,
Like it
and the
was.
same thing with Tupac. Tupac was listening to a lot of what Dr. Dre's advice was saying. He was like, "Yo, Death Row, it starts a lot of fishy shit here. This ain't it. You're too smart for this shit." And then boom, that shit happened. Now I believe I haven't heard any conspiracy theories behind this. Maybe you guys have, Marilyn. Maybe you have, but I like to believe that fucking Diddy and Suge was talk behind closed doors and be like, "Yo, so what are we gonna do to make sure these niggas don't leave our side?" I believe that. And then that
I
shit
wouldn't
went
put it
down.
past them because
It
I've
could be a possibility.
learned so many stories. I've known so many stories of like between small celebrities. These content creators nowadays get to be so close to these people, and then next thing you know, you're in a Discord like this, and this motherfuckers is telling you stories about shit that I was like, damn, that was my hero. This nigga, he got down like that.
Yup.
You know what I'm saying? So knowing that, and I'm an artist that's trying to been out there and try to been pushing my stuff for a long time. And in the rooms that I've walked in to be able to get a yes, it's like you gotta be literally
You gotta suck dick, basically,
yeah,
metaphorically. You gotta suck
literal
somebody
type
dick.
shit. Like if you don't, rub the right shoulders properly, my boy, this ain't for you. And having that kind of power then turns human trafficking into a very thin line between your dream and what you want to do and what you're upset about, because Orlando Brown is one of the most
I finished
prof-
it.
profound people that you're gonna pay attention to if you listen to him properly. Because just like
Bro,
you
Orlando
gotta listen
Brown
to
is
some
a
of these people.
The
genius.
skinny dude move
Orlando
up.
Brown is a
The dude
genius.
that be
Nah,
like skinny
he's
bop.
The Disney,
Even-
the Disney
even-
Channel guy.
bro,
That guy?
even Raven. They even
Listening
asked
to the
Raven.
interview, bro.
They
Forget
even asked Raven Simone. They asked her, "How do you feel about him saying all that?" She goes, "I don't care. I know how smart he is. She knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing.
Nah, I don't,
My
he's doing
man
it-
is a
he's-
genius."
Nah,
That's
he's
it,
doing
Sage.
it great.
if you
He's doing it great.
fall for the narrative of
I'm
him
falling
being
for it.
crazy, you
I'm
are not
falling-
paying attention to the
I'm
guy.
falling
Because
for
when
it.
he was talking about the Diddy parties, he talked and told those stories, and he didn't go to TMZ. He went to one of these low-level YouTubers that he fucks with because he's able to be himself, right? So then he's telling us the story about Diddy, right? He goes, you gotta say no to Diddy. You gotta say no to Diddy.
He goes, Diddy gave me that skishka. You feel me? You gotta say no to him.
and that's the way to trick the people for the clip, right? But then
Yep.
further, he goes, you know why? Because you'll end up in a beach after everything is said and done, and the bitch is sitting there with a freaking blanket on, all cold, and Diddy's like, yo, go suck my man dick right here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, just watching what's happening. But you can't say, you gotta say no to Diddy when it gets to a certain time. Like stay here, but don't go into that room because you said no to Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Like he started throwing clues like that, and he said, I don't know what she's talking about. She got paid. We all get hazed as celebrities by the bigger people. That's why we get to where we get. And I was like, oh. So he's admitting that there's a hazing process between the bigger heads to the smaller people to get them in, because you can't get into the circle of the Grammys. Envy and I will never get a song in the Grammys unless we go into the Academy. Them niggas will never vote for us. The
Do you
same way that
think?
they
Do you think that's why Drake has never gone to the Grammys?
because he's not sucking their dick in the academy,
Nah,
bro.
that's the thing. Nah,
Yeah.
hold up. Now I just yeah, Ambi knows. I'm gonna put on my Drake cape real quick. Hold on, let me put it on real quick. Hold on.
And
No,
All right.
I'm not.
I will
I'm
say this.
defending Drake.
I will
even
say
if that's the
this.
reason why Drake doesn't go, I'm props to
Drake
him for not
Drake
saying
doesn't
yes.
Drake doesn't
Yeah,
go to the
yeah.
Grammys anymore because that one time there was a time where he won. I think when he was beefing with Pusha T, he won the Grammys. And that he predicted that he was gonna do in the Duppy freestyle. That still makes that Duppy freestyle way better than Sorry Adonis, but that's another topic. But he said that. Then on his speech, he literally told them, "Yo, to all the artists out here, I want you to know that this is not like a championship in the NBA. This is not the finals. This is opinion based." And then they cut his mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Mid
telling him
ending
what's up.
speech, and then ever since then, Drake was like, "I'm never going to the Grammys because this is for show. Like, I don't need that shit. I don't need all this for show shit." But that's another reason why
So
they're
yeah,
attacking Drake. But
Drake has never been in the categories at all ever since.
Yeah.
he almost fought Diddy. We don't know why, because Diddy did something when it was he did trophies.
I thought it
When he
was
slapped him, when he
I thought
slapped
it was
him.
music. I thought it was music related. Like there was a song
Yeah,
that Drake
it was
took
like,
that Diddy wanted, but Diddy
but
didn't
that's
want
what
it
they
at
said.
first until he heard that Drake was working on it, and then he wanted it. But Drake ended up still taking the record, so he went to try to like he actually pulled the Suge Knight move. He went up to Drake like, "Yo, give me the record," and Drake was like, "No, what the fuck?"
You see,
And you
that's what I
can't
heard too. Yeah,
like he pressed him, but then you got to remember Drake got Young Money, Cash Money. You know how they get down
Not even that. Drake is hanging out with that
with the
what's that nigga
Jamaican dude.
name? No, that the some other dude.
Oh, the one from
the
Texas.
yeah, he's
Hey, oh
fucking
my
with that
God,
dude. Nobody fucks
they
with
run
him.
Texas, man. Oh my God, what is it? I know who
I
it is.
know
I know who it is.
you know who
And
I'm
he's
talking
like an
about. They no,
OG
nobody
gangster.
fucks with him.
Like,
Nobody
mind you,
fucks
though,
with him.
corporate, but he's like gangster. Like
Yeah, he's hanging out
Drake
with
has been
him.
under his
Nobody
wing
fucks with that guy.
since like 2009. That's why Diddy, when he approached him, yeah, he got the smack. Oh shit, una galleta, mierda, el reperpero. All the people came around. What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying? But he never got to do that shit again. He got
Nope.
that off. But oh my God, it's like in the tip of my tongue, Ambi. God damn it. Cause
I
like
love.
this guy, he like runs Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to go through Houston, you gotta like
Oh,
what is that check in? You gotta check in
Prince,
with him.
Prince,
Prince,
Prince
Prince.
something, Prince.
Hey, young Prince.
No, Prince something Junior, Prince something, and then he has his son, Prince
No,
something
not even
Junior.
Junior. He's
No,
hanging out with
he's. Yeah, I'm
Senior.
saying, yeah,
Prince Senior.
Prince something Senior, and his
James
son,
J Prince, J Prince,
Jay
J Prince,
Prince,
Jay
Jay
Prince.
Prince, Jay Prince.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ain't nobody fucking with Jay
Yeah,
Prince, bro.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody.
And that motherfucker is born on
Yeah.
Halloween. What?
Like, yeah. So
Jay
I want
Prince,
to
by the way, this all love, Jay Prince, all love.
I want to
All
continue
love.
this,
But
we
like
do have.
supposedly his
Yeah.
connections were so crazy that once they found out that Drake had like very deep connections to Jay Prince, they backed away.
No, yeah, because of Young Money and all that, he's super mob
Yeah,
type connected.
and it was all because of Birdman. Yeah, Young Money. Yeah,
I do
Mhm.
Young Money,
wanna
Cash Money.
I do wanna pass on, but I do know that Mama Gamer is here.
No,
Yo,
go,
Mama
go, go.
Gamer. I just want to say real quick, just so she could just have her opinion. Mama Gamer, Diddy, human trafficking. We was talking about just the differences of human trafficking. How do you feel about Diddy's human trafficking case? And do you feel like it is actual human trafficking where they take people like on like in Taken? That was a great movie you brought up. I couldn't remember the movie, but like
Oh
Taken.
yeah.
So would you
Mhm.
consider what Diddy
Hostile.
is? Yeah, hostile.
Oh,
Oh my
of
god, another
course.
another.
And
You
the
do. Okay, tell me why.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
the whole news, like when they even showed like the whole hidden how you say the tunnels that they found in his house.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I
I
see where you're
forgot
coming
about
from.
that. Yeah, they had like little smoky
Wait,
tunnels.
Mhm.
But
Oh,
that's a
hold on,
celebrity
we,
mansion, though.
yeah,
That's a
hold
safety
on,
issue.
because we
So
can
that
go
was in his
back.
house.
Because
Yeah,
no,
but
it
that
was his house.
celebrities could have that because it's like having like a panic room. Like I'm a billionaire, nigga. I'm making tunnels all over the place to get out of my crib, so niggas
Right.
don't try to kill me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's
So
like JFK with his secret tunnels for Marilyn Monroe, bro.
exactly.
You feel me?
Hey,
Yeah, but still, like
Hey,
all those celebrity kids talk about how they were like lured into those tunnels,
That's
though.
the thing too. Yeah, it could be a front, like, oh, you this because I'm a billionaire, I gotta protect myself. But it could be used as smuggle tunnels. And you gotta understand, back in those days when those mansions were built with those smuggle tunnels, human trafficking was a big thing that we wasn't even really thinking
oh,
about in
that shit,
America.
nigga,
Yeah.
Right.
that shit was like Kennedy's fried chicken.
Like for all
Like,
we know,
Not
Kennedy,
the
I love you,
Yo,
bro.
not the KFC.
Like, yo, John
yeah,
F.
it was there's one in every block.
Yup,
That's
John
that
F.
dirty.
Kennedy, I love.
That's that dirty chicken. You heard?
John F.
Yeah,
Kennedy, I
facts.
love you, bro. But for all we know, those presidential tunnels that they had could have always been for the presidents before that liked them young, that like little Asian girls, little Asian boys.
Right.
You feel
Little
me?
Little
exotic.
foreign, little church boys. You never know.
Or the non-conspiracy one, just to escape, because motherfuckers hated presidents back in the days when they used to want to free the slaves. So
You feel
just
me?
throwing
It
that
could have
out
been.
there.
It could have been that too. It could have been a bunch of things. But I want to move on. I want to talk about vaccines. So Mama Gamer brought this up, and I talked about this a lot in the BOP, and I want to bring it around. So I don't want to talk about like vaccines like back in the day, because I feel like those vaccines were really tested. Like, what's the one where they had to get the iron lung machine? What's that
Heart and
disease?
lung machine.
Yeah, they had like people
Oh,
had a disease.
what was that?
It's
Uh,
not smallpox, was it? Damn.
No, it was like something where something happened where they had
no,
to put
it
their
was
whole
something with
body
the
in a
plague
machine.
though, right? It was a plague where like their
Tuberculosis? Not
whole immune,
tuberculosis.
their
It's some
lungs and
shit.
shit would
No, not
break down and
tuberculosis.
they
Yeah,
needed to be in that iron
Polio.
lung
Pneumonia?
chamber to breathe.
Was it
polio,
Polio.
polio?
polio. There you
Polio.
go.
Polio.
Like
There we
No,
polio
go.
vaccine,
Yeah.
polio.
super important.
That needed to
Polio
be,
vaccine
that needed
came
to be
out.
done.
Nobody needed iron lungs no more. Even now, polio is super.
Tuberculosis too.
To this
Tuberculosis
day.
Tuberculosis,
too.
HPV.
That was
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
another
To
thing.
this
So now,
day, there still is.
but now,
Yeah.
ever since pop COVID, right? We've been getting a lot of premature tested vaccines, and they're super pushed on kids. I used to work in a school, and it was set up like, yo, if your kid doesn't have all their vaccine shots, your kid can't even. Before it was your kid got to be in this one classroom by himself with all the other unvaccinated kids, and they'll they'll fuck up each other. Now it's no, your kid can't even show up to school at all no
Yeah.
more. Like,
No.
Well,
so
I could say, to be honest, when I did my little small medical assistant thing,
for
he
sure.
should go work in a hospital all the time. So I'm pretty sure he has his whole opinion about it.
Yeah.
Vaccines,
I gotta be
in my
careful because Donald
opinion,
Trump is hating on Colombia. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I gotta pick my words.
Right.
Vaccines, in my opinion, is necessary in a way to build your immunity. Now, prematurely, no. I feel like it should definitely be 100% tested until it's actually good. I don't know what that means. I'm not a scientist, but the scientist knows exactly what the fuck it means.
But
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 that
what happened
premature
is
stuff, I don't really fuck with that premature stuff. Like COVID, that was way too premature. How the fuck we got a vaccine for COVID already?
Extremely.
right.
So I want
After
Mama
all
Gamer
that.
to say that because I have something for the COVID stuff. I actually have really good insight on that. But what were you gonna say, Mama Gamer?
Because he says that he's totally for the vaccines because you need the immunity to
For your immune systems, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
But
yeah,
can,
what
to
so
build
happened?
they
up.
can know,
But
so
what
they can know what the virus is, yeah.
right? So but what happened if you're already gotten sick? Why you still need the vaccine?
Ooh, I like that.
Right. In
Because
that
there'll
case,
be different
you
variations of the
Um,
virus all the
Because
time.
so
wait,
a
Arata,
vaccine is
sorry.
supposed to be half dead. The vaccine is not like the whole virus itself. The vaccine
Right.
is just supposed to prepare your body, like, yo, if this happens to you, this is what you're doing.
But
But
the thing is,
if you already get sick,
Antibodies.
okay, I
Yeah.
see what
because
you mean though. I know
because
what you mean though.
me and my daughter got in COVID last week, and this is her first time ever getting sick.
Hmm.
Do I still need to give her COVID, the vaccine?
Yeah.
Because
absolutely not.
it's already
Well,
it's already in
now
her immune
no.
Technically,
system. Because
Now
she
no.
no.
her body can fight it off.
I don't think now
To
it's
be honest,
mandatory vaccine
I'll be
shots.
No,
extremely honest with y'all.
realistically, no. But because of the way the school and all of that bullshit, society and all of that, they'll make you get it. But physically, no. You guys don't need the fucking COVID vaccine. You already had it. Your body already knows what it is.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, but when you think about it from the variant point of view, the
Oh,
virus
from
is
a variant,
constantly
that's different.
changing.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
but
like
it wouldn't
that
it
that
wouldn't
There's
it
been
wouldn't
COVID
matter.
19 one, there's been COVID 19
Yeah,
two, and
but
there has been different
even with
strengths
that,
to it.
even with that, right? So that's the best place to debate that. Okay, before I get to that, I want to get to the vaccine thing that Amby brought up before I lose it. So back when I was in the in the VOP, we was like all into like all that stuff. I was part of we was part of like this forum. Like that's how crazy it was. It was a forum, a website where you just talk to people, right? And he was actually a part of them. It was actually a bunch of scientists, renowned scientists. One of the scientists actually went to the Supreme Court to actually fight this thing. Like they were all there before the vaccine was even out in production. They were still testing it, and they were saying like, "Yo, we're testing the vaccine. It's not really promisable. It will take us 10 years to get a viable vaccine out." And then 2 weeks later, Pfizer came out with the vaccine, and that was very questionable because like we was
Oh
reading, they were
yeah.
saying that like other countries talking Venezuela, yo, we did the vaccine trials, 10% was successful. The other percent died, or other percent had to be on a ventilator. Like it was bad. Like I'm talking, we had documents. Like I'm gonna hit up Dan to see if he still has it. Like we had documents that they shared to show people. Like,
Mm.
look, whatever the world says, this is proof. This is data that we're testing on live people. And they're like, yo, we're not just some crackpot fucking hospital in a shack in the jungle. They're like, yo, we're a renowned doctor. Like all this stuff. And then when it comes to the
Yo,
flu and the variants and stuff like that, right? So like back in like what 1910, all right, or 1840, right? The common cold or the common flu, right, used to really kill people all the time. That was like a really bad thing. Now we got a flu shot and we build an immunity towards the common flu. Whereas we still get sick, but we don't die. As long as we take natural medicine, Motrin, Vicks, whatever the drink is, you know.
Motrin is not natural medicine, dog.
Oh,
Yo,
nah,
yo, yo, listen.
That's
Motrin.
He's
literal
not
chemicals, man.
he's not a medical guy, bro. Leave him alone, bro.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm the only
Whatever.
medical person here.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you want me to let him just
Ichigo
say
will tell
yes
you.
to that?
Ichigo will tell
he
you
said,
the
"Let
I'm
me
letting
try
your
natural
this."
medical
medicines.
opinion go before I.
Ichigo
No,
will
but
tell
that's
you
what
the
we here
Go
natural
for.
ahead, go
We
ahead,
medicines.
go
all
ahead.
learning.
He will tell you the
We all
natural
learning.
medicines and all that stuff. But I'm saying
You
like
should go going
natural
into with the
medicines.
natural medicine, menthol, all the
But
way,
like
baby.
Yeah, y eso salvavidas.
we honestly don't need a flu shot every year, you know. And when it comes and it
Nah,
when
I
when it co-
stopped taking that.
yeah,
Yeah,
A
I
while
stopped.
exactly.
ago.
Yeah.
I stopped
I
taking it. I
work in
don't
a
get the flu.
hospital, so at first they used to make us take it. The moment they
Nah,
stopped
they can't
making us,
make you no more. They can't
yeah,
make you no
that's
more.
it. I stopped taking it. I stopped taking it.
Because
It's I really don't.
wasn't you
I haven't
wasn't you
I
getting
haven't gotten
sick?
sick.
Wasn't you getting sick when you was getting the shot? Like I'll tell my mom that all the
Yes,
time.
Yup.
I'm like, Mom,
Yes,
yes.
when you
but
get the flu
but
shot, you get the flu more times throughout the winter. And she's like, yeah, but that's because they gave me the shot. Like, nigga, they gave you the shot like 2 months ago. When is this? When is the shot gonna go away? Like, when are we not gonna like? When are you gonna start fighting this
but hold
shit?
on,
Like,
but hold on, because that's when we could start getting a little more scientific. Because the virus can hit later on. It's not gonna hit you right away. Like I got the COVID shot because of my job, and I needed that job. It was a good paying job, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. I didn't get COVID right away. I got COVID like a month later,
I was in the same
and it
boat.
wasn't even that bad. It was shit. I felt like I had the cold. That's it. I wasn't like
Asymptomatic.
when my wife got COVID.
And that
She
was
was
after
fucking
you took the
dying.
vaccine.
It was after, but
I haven't taken, I,
everybody's body reacts differently.
and
Right.
that's a
Yeah,
big
because we all
thing.
have different immune systems that are able to protect themselves. Like
But
Yeah, like
everybody's
those
I
who do
feel like
all those.
I did the record with Columbia University because I was the first one in my department that got COVID. The first week
Damn.
Qué mala suerte
when the
tuvo,
shit
bro.
happened, that it was like March 21st. I was already
Mm.
kind of like I let my like we had a big Twitch meetup. All of my friends from my OG Twitch family came from all sides of the country, all over the place. We were chilling because that was the problem. The week after, we had to talk to each other to be like, "Yo, you got COVID because I got it. So what's going on over there?" And these people are like in Florida, Massachusetts, like all over the place, right? I'm the one that catches it first, and I'm like, what the fuck am I feeling? Like, okay, run through the symptoms. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting all the flu like symptoms, but I'm definitely getting more chest pains than the regular. and
COVID, my boy.
I'm a person that has smoked enough hookah that the next day was propped on this bed and I had to run to the emergency room because of how much I had smoked. My lungs couldn't take it, and this is twice
Damn.
that it happened to me to be able
He's
to
So
figure it out, right?
I feel
So
like
I
this.
already come with like a respiratory semi issue that happened to me years before that, because that was like 2015, 2016, and then COVID's hitting me now, like in
Yeah,
2020. So I'm going through the whole situation. It took me at least 15 to 20 to almost a whole month, but that was my body. By the time it hit like towards the end of the month, it was a lot better. But my mom, nigga, the first entire full month, she couldn't get out of that bed. I saw the whole thing after that situation as like, oh, they're trying to kill the old people. We're getting to 8 billion. They're trying to shut this shit down.
yeah.
Because I see it in
On
more
some
than one
dino
way. I'm a
shit.
research
I see
scientist.
it.
I do
I
this
see it
for a
that way
of
living.
too.
course,
I
no,
You know
feel
what I'm
like
definitely.
saying?
COVID has only killed people that already had medical
And
issues
that's
rather than healthy
Pre-existing
people.
and
conditions.
that's what
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was gonna
But
That's like
say.
yeah,
that's
That's
like
what
the
I
WWE thing that Sage was talking about the other day. Like, give him a little feedback so they can have some context of what you said about WWE and the medical thing on Tuesday's podcast.
I was like, yo, bro, don't ever throw me a lob like that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, so I was talking about like in the business, right? So like let's say so let's bring it up, let's change WWE and put it as a government. So the world government, right? That's the government that controls the world, controls other nations, handles how the economy works and stuff like that, right? They go,
Be right
hey,
back.
we got 8,000 people. These people are old. We're paying for hospice, cancer treatment, long-term care, all these things. If we cut this out and just make it a fresh new things, we'll save this much money. And I was gonna go on to that when y'all was saying how this COVID affects everyone differently if you have underlying issues. And I was gonna say that's any sickness. That's any
any.
sickness.
Oh yeah,
Like
It could
the
be
guy,
any,
the guy,
bro.
the guy right here that's on my arm, Alexander Garay, right? That's my spiritual father. That's the dude I look up to. That's the sage before I was a sage, right? He had full blown AIDS, right? He was supposed to die for 6 months. He ended up living like 13 years past that, right? But he didn't die because of AIDS. He ended up having a lung infection because of I think he ended up having bronchitis. That
mm.
bronchitis fucked up his like that shit fucked his whole shit up more, and then he ended up dying, right? It's like
Yeah. The
underlying.
system was too weak to be able to fight
Yeah,
something
his
like that.
system was too weak. Like like me,
Because
I didn't.
his system was already fighting the
Yeah,
AIDS. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. His
yeah,
system
his
was
system was already
Yeah.
compromised as it
fighting the
is.
AIDS. So it's
Any
like
disease could have happened. It could have been a
eh,
freaking light flu that we could have killed in like 3 days.
anything. He could have
And
had a bad tooth, and it would have fucked
no,
up his mouth, and it would have affected everything. So like again,
right.
I didn't get the vaccine, right? But and I got COVID, and I felt the same way Ambi felt. It was just the cold. I felt like I
Yeah,
didn't.
that's it.
It didn't
Immune
feel.
systems are different.
It didn't feel like a regular cold. I felt like, and it's only my mushroom people would understand. If you just take an eighth of mushrooms, that feeling that you feel inside of you when you got toxins
Yeah.
inside of you, that's what
Hell
you.
yeah,
That's
boy.
how I felt when I had COVID. I was sick,
Nigga, I'm
but I was
smiling.
I was also uncomfortable inside my body, like if I had a toxin inside of my body,
Yeah.
and that was just
Yeah.
it. Like that's all I
Well,
felt.
Nah, I
My
felt
mom.
that too when
my
I got
bo- my
mine.
bo- my body is there. Was like I got told from my own provider that I have a strong immune system, and even though I say this jokingly, but I'm dead ass. Nigga, I used to eat dirt in DR, nigga. I used to eat dirt, and I literally used to drink the tap water from the water fountain in New York parks, nigga.
No, it
We
takes
all
the.
did
That
that.
I
We
was
did
It's
That's
that.
like,
true.
hard.
Real
yeah.
We
shit.
all did that.
Give me
No, no,
that
no,
That
no,
right
no.
actually
there.
helped
You
him
can't,
save the
you
street.
can't, you no,
That
Ishigo,
water
you
was
can't, you
refreshing.
Ishigo, we
Yeah, hell
can't
yeah.
say we
Especially if
all
it was
do
cold.
we can't say we all do because you felt COVID. I didn't feel it like that.
Not
I
like that.
felt COVID like I was just sick.
Nah, but
Bro, I
And
Ichigo
was
then
in
has
2 weeks
bed.
underlying.
later, I was
I was in
Ichigo
bed for
fine.
has
4 or 5 days straight, straight. My
Ichigo has
dad
Wow.
called
underlying
me, and my dad
problems.
don't even live in
Yeah.
New York. He's like, "Yo, what happened? Da da da. COVID hit you." He's laughing. I'm like, I'm sick. And he's like, "Oh shit,
But that's the
it's
thing.
real."
I
Like when,
wasn't
but
stuck
I
in my
wasn't
bed.
even
Like I
scared of
was still getting
myself.
up.
When
I
Yeah,
my
but
was
he
still
has
getting
mom
up.
got
underlying problem.
sick, that she's over here like pissing blood and shit, and I'm like, "Whoa."
Oh.
Hold
Nah, that's
on,
like
How
a
hold
far?
on.
that
No,
sound like a
because
Hold
severe
on.
remember, it
UTI.
doesn't hit
Hey,
everybody the same, y'all.
no,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
When
COVID
I
is
saw
just a
Like,
go
bro,
out, because
catalyst.
my
Yeah.
sister's
like,
calling me
bro,
like, "You checking on mom?" And I was like, "What's going on? She should be sleeping." She's like, "Nah, go." And I was like, "Oh." I took her to the ER. We went back to Presby and like handled that. Like, thank God it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? But that was just like, cause my mom is like, late 50s, early 60s. Like, there ain't no
Bro,
menopause.
and
It ain't Mama Gamer's case. There's no period blood happening now. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, for
So
but
if
real.
it's
what's crazy was COVID. Well, this is a whole conversation we can have another day. When COVID
yeah,
came out, it was fucking October of 2019. And I
Yeah.
remember first it was the eating bats. And I remember that same month, T-Mobile had just opened up their 5G tower. And I'm like, hey, conspiracy theory, whatever, let it go. I worked all of COVID because I was a security supervisor for Amazon down on 33rd Street. Nothing. Nothing. I even took my mask off when I was in the trains. I wasn't giving two fucks.
Oh
And then the
nah.
cops was and then the cops will
That's
stop me, but
great.
then I have my little essential employee card. I'm like, yo, I'm allowed to be out here. I could be out here. He goes, I bet. Put my mask on, take it off when I'm at work, walk around. Nobody's there. It's a wasteland. Everybody's remote. But because I have to be security, I have to be there. Got COVID when I got my shot when I moved to Massachusetts to get this new job
I
because
love
I got the shot.
I
Got
love
sick for like 2 weeks.
I love this combo. Honestly, this is such a great
yeah,
combo.
because your body
Honestly,
never went through the experience. If your body would have went through the experience first, when you got the vaccine, it would have just been like a flu shot. Because that's what it
But
feels
then
like to
what?
me
But
now.
but then what
I didn't get
Merlin
the
said
vaccine,
earlier.
bro.
What
So when I
Merlin
got
said
mine,
earlier.
I felt all that shit.
No,
I
what
felt
Merlin said earlier because I was really expecting to be fucking dying because everybody that got the COVID vaccine, it was like a train hit them. That's how they explained it.
that was me, bro.
How
okay.
I
That
felt
was
And
last
me.
week.
I felt like I got hit
when
with
I got
three
the
planes
shot,
and a semi truck.
but when I got the shot, it felt like every time I get the flu shot every year. That's how it
Yeah.
felt like.
Yeah, that's
And
how
then I
it
went back
feels
to
like.
work.
Yeah. So I mean, so
But
far from what I'm getting
because
out your argument, man, is that
Merlin
the
said
vaccine might be
asymptomatic
necessary.
earlier. Yeah, in my
Nah,
opinion,
but
it depends.
Merlin is fucking CMOS every day. This motherfucker Superman compared to our bum asses. I'm a
No,
roller
but
Listen,
coaster. Merlin is so healthy,
Well,
bro.
I'm
He
just going
he
off what he said earlier.
COVID scared of Merlin.
I have a feeling I was asymptomatic. I probably
Hmm.
did have COVID. Never showed anything because my immune system, according to my doctor, is really fucking good,
That's what
and
happened
it
to my
was really
brother.
Yeah.
hiding it.
But
My
that's the
brother felt
thing too.
nothing.
That's the thing too, though. It's a lot like like when COVID first happened. I remember like when everything first happened. I remember before Joe Rogan was taking ivermectin, right? Before that whole ivermectin thing happened.
that horse
I
train.
yeah, before he was taking that, I saw a Joe Rogan episode, and Joe Rogan was talking to someone. It wasn't even like a specialist, just like another healthy person that he had COVID, and he was talking about like, hey, like I felt pretty shitty, but then like I just kept running, and he said that he was like running is the best for your circulatory system. Like running
Oh yeah,
cleans
running is good
cleans all
cardio. It's good
it
for your
it
vascular.
cleans
Yeah.
all your body out. All your body toxins and everything. He was like, that's the number one killer of COVID. And he was like, yo, man, he's like, and his doctor told him that. His doctor was like, yo, he was like, yo, your immune system's pretty good. Just keep running, keep exercising, stay active. And I did that. And for the whole peak of COVID, I had no COVID. And I was outside. I was going to fucking bars, not catching COVID. My mom was all upset. And it was just like, I only got COVID when at the end of COVID, I'm working at Metro. There was this hot girl that pulled up, and I bagged her number. I'm over here touching her and shit. And as I'm texting her, she goes, "Yeah, I just got out of having COVID." I was like, "This bitch got me. I got caught lacking. Holy shit!" I was like, "Damn!" Like,
Final destination right there. It's like, oh,
That
you gonna get away?
ass.
Oh, you thought you was good?
so we know how to
Thank God
catch your ass. Let me send a girl over there with
Got
COVID.
you. Gonna set some coochie
Caught
on.
It's
me,
like, ven
got
acá, papi.
got
I
COVID, and
didn't
that
catch
was
it
it.
last week, thank God.
Like, yo, thank God for everybody, man. But I do want to press on because we're getting closer to that time, and I know this topic's gonna be real quick and easy because I feel like we all have the same point and opinions. But Kanye,
That's the God right there.
okay, all
What
right,
you mean,
yeah,
bro? Kanye West for president. What is you talking about, bro?
okay, all
Stop
right,
Facts.
playing.
A
all right.
thousand
Stop
percent.
playing,
So
bro.
You
Kanye,
falling for the narrative, Sage. You
No,
falling for the
no.
okay,
bullshit.
okay, I
If
like
you
That man,
this.
listen to Kanye West
he
when
needs
he's
to be in that
promoting
title.
something, Kanye on promo mode, he's gonna say whatever the fuck he thinks of. It's not. There's no stopping.
Okay,
Like the reason why I
There's no
enjoy Ye,
practicing with his media team. There's none of that. That doesn't exist.
I'm gonna go off the cuff. George Bush don't like black people. I'm like, oh, this nigga, why?
Yo,
It's like,
I
wait a minute.
remember that shit.
Why? Like he made a great point. The people from Katrina should have not suffered the way that they did. It was
They
true.
shouldn't
But
have.
I
They
was like,
shouldn't have.
he doesn't even have a care in the world. He said that like with confidence.
Hmm.
You had Austin Powers shaking in his boots. I was like, oh nah.
And also, and that
Yo,
was
Mike Myers was like,
and that was when Mike Myers was like not giving a fuck about Hollywood, but then he was started to calm down when he got that Shrek shit.
yeah.
He started to calm down
He started sucking dick.
after that Disney deal. He was like, "Yo, hold
Oh
on,
my
yo,
god,
see,
that's what you think
DreamWorks,
happened?
DreamWorks is like Disney. I'm sorry,
yo,
sorry,
he
my bad,
was,
MB.
it's fuck that, it's fucking Disney. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me."
This is
What he was like, hold on, Disney giving me a good fucking check to be a ogre. All right, Kanye, do your thing. Oh, okay. Back to
I
you. Like,
you know what I'm
so
saying?
so Kanye. So let me ask the question. Kanye came out, said recently, but I want to talk about all the things that he has said. So, but recently he came
That's
out.
a
He
lot.
said,
That's a laundry list.
I don't want to talk about all about it, just as a whole. But as a whole,
Man,
right?
grocery
The
list.
things that Kanye says, right? Yeah, it's promo. It gets people out there, but like what he said about him sucking his cousin's dick until he was 14, right? Should we not take that serious? Should we take
yes,
that serious? Should
Somebody
that should
we?
be
needed to take
serious.
away
That's
his phone.
in
That's what
in
needed to happen.
in a way
That's what I
that
feel
should be
like too.
serious. Wait, repeat that again. He did what? He did what till he was 14? Or
He's
his cousin forced him in a way?
no, 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 no,
No,
No,
no, that
no.
was
Say it
like
again.
there
Say
was
it
no
again.
His cousin
force.
was younger, right?
Yeah, his cousin. I think his cousin was younger than him, and so the whole story. If you listen to the song, I listened to it one time because this nigga Jonathan put that shit in my head, and I had to listen to it because I had to know. So fuck you,
Oh,
I
what's
was
the
Jonathan.
waiting
song?
because I
Did I
didn't
not
yet.
hear the
It's
song?
called
There's a
Cousins. It's
song?
called Cousins. It's called Cousins. It's called
Nigga,
Cousins.
just read. I would suggest you read the lyrics, nigga. Don't.
Just read the lyrics. Like basically, him and his cousin
Oh, yeah.
found his.
Oh, I see a bunch of confused faces. Did y'all not hear the song?
no.
No,
Nah.
I only saw the post.
So
Oh
apparently,
no. Oh
so in the
no.
song,
We
he
might have to let them
basically,
hear the song.
yo, what is it, like 3 minutes? I bet.
But
Let's put it up.
we will get copyrighted for that.
It's just
Um,
us.
I
if
mean,
we,
unless you don't.
Twitch
I
Twitch
mean,
will mute it like always. You know
oh
how
no,
it
we're
goes.
not on
are
Twitch.
you
This isn't
live?
live.
You're
This
not.
isn't live.
Oh,
This is just
okay.
recorded. This is
Also,
just
then you
recorded.
can
Oh,
cut this.
then
You can cut this
yeah,
part
you
off
just
then.
mute it
Yeah,
after.
we'll just cut it off after and then be like, oh my god, this is crazy. Yeah, so Ichigo is gonna share the screen because his computer is better than mine. But yes, like he says some crazy stories, like how his dad, him and his cousin found his dad's magazine. Like back then they used to have porn magazines. Nobody
Oh, I
had
prefer this one.
nobody had a phone bookmark of links like
Oh,
regular
it's only
people
2
do.
minutes.
I mean, yeah, it's not much to talk about. It's not much to say.
But it's a lot to fucking talk about.
It does cut into what Envy wants to do at the end of the show because I
It is.
understand.
That's good, yeah.
But if it's like serious, then it's like, oh, espérate.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
It's
just
like,
a disturbed person this whole time, and he had to say something this outrageous for you to be like, pay attention to him.
This is what I'm saying. It's just the boy who
Like a
cried
call for
wolf.
help. Like I have friends that have like
Yes.
taken their own lives before, and like
Rest in peace.
I told myself a long time ago, I'm gonna check in, no matter
Yep.
what, even if I see you once. Even if I hang out with you a little bit, like
And you
that
do.
dope as fuck, I'm gonna hit you up for no reason, send you a meme.
And you do.
And this
Ichigo
is not
does.
because
He
I
really
have a bad
does.
feeling, just because I thought of this person, like, oh shit, that's him. Mierda.
I
Check this
appreciate
out.
that.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like I told myself I had to, especially COVID, that really put it in, like cemented it on me.
Mhm.
I call my dad, even if we don't get along, my sisters, my brothers, like my real life, bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was like, hold on, we gotta check in more. But like at the, I always take it as promo because I'm an artist like him, and I understand. And Envy can tell you, for us to promote ourselves, I will have to say some outrageous shit like, "I'll suck every nigga in his dick." And then Mama Gamer had a
Hey,
dildo
yo.
too.
Yeah.
This is the viral one. Post this, and I swear to God, it's gonna go viral.
I swear to God,
Yeah.
it is.
Why?
And I'm
Because
doing it. I'm doing
Ichigo
it.
Knight,
Post it.
the guy
Post it.
we all know, decided to say this shit.
I'm doing it.
You know what I'm saying?
You asked. You
And
said
now it goes haywire. But guess what? I could promote a song. I could promote our podcast right after that.
Yep.
Watch them all follow to see what we gonna do next.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he took that shit and ran with it.
But it's like
He's fucking. speedy running at the speed of light.
So like I was with you, right? When he said Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves. I was like, ooh, zinger. That's gonna get him to that's gonna get people to vote for him as president.
That was comedy, actually.
You feel me? You know, I was there when he was wearing the MAGA hats. I was there with you when he said that living with Kim Kardashian and living with the Kardashians was like living in Get Out. That was peak Kanye tweets right there. I was like, nah, this got it. He said, yo, you don't understand. Jordan Peele gets what I'm going through because my house living with them is like Get Out. I was like, ooh. And that movie just came out. I was like, ooh. Kim is going to feel it. But this, I feel like there's a line. It's like, wait, hold up. Should we be worried about you? Should we ask, are you okay? Should we? Because now I'm conflicted as a Kanye fan, right? If we go and concerned with ourselves with this, and then he's like, nah, I'm just trolling. Everything's good. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you create this market of people that actually suffered through this just for jokes and trolls and to release a song to get your album out? You know?
As you say that, right? You're a stand-up comedian, right, Sage?
100%. Amateur, future want to be stand-up comedian. Want to be stand-up comedian, yes.
We're watching Ivan, right?
Okay.
Ivan has said those type of jokes. And the crowd went, oh. Like they were gonna laugh, and they laughed on the inside, for sure.
It stops you.
We knew they laughed. Yeah. But they were like, oh. And he was like, oh, too much? But then the joke before that, he had hit him with a zinger that they all thought it was funny, but it was a fucked up joke. Like saying Dominicans are racist to Haitians, but we don't give a fuck. We still think that maldito negro que se quite de ahí. The crowd is gonna laugh because it's a funny
thing towards Haitians.
But they know that we're
up,
racist to the fucking people.
Oh.
It's a fucked up dark joke, but you're admitting, you're laughing, you're admitting to the fault.
Right.
So then it's like, for heterosexual people, it sounds fucked up. But for like somebody in the LGBTQ, it might not sound like that to them. Like it's a different story depending on the person that he's throwing it for. I feel like he sometimes picks and chooses who he's saying these statements for. Maybe he is trying to wake something up.
I know, because like you said, being an artist, you gotta know your fans. You gotta know your people and understanding what you could say. Because if you have such a huge, wide fan base, you could basically say a lot of racial shit and get away with it.
And nowadays, because they made canceling somebody such a normal thing, people don't believe in the respect of canceling somebody, I feel like, nowadays.
Yeah,
because they could be like, oh yeah, we're canceling this person, and then 6 months later, this person is in TV. And we're like, I thought that person was canceled.
Nah, I get it.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, let's honestly be real.
It's
like,
a blender.
Yeah, the only people that really got canceled was R. Kelly when they demonetized. Shane Dawson, when they demonetized his YouTube stuff, he stopped making money. R. Kelly, when they demonetized his music on radio, that wasn't getting radio play, and he doesn't make money off of his Spotify plays. Andrew Tate, when the banks themselves stopped taking his money. Like, those were probably the 3 only people that got really canceled, and it wasn't even that bad. Like, it's like their livelihood was still good. Like, yeah, like, R. Kelly.
I mean, R. Kelly's in jail. That's not.
And he's living his best. He's living his best. He's living his best life in there. Y'all didn't hear? He does R&B shows for the inmates.
My nigga, he made an album in there, bro. Did you?
Yeah, he's living his best life in there, bro.
The nigga made an apology album, bro. He's not wrong.
He's living his best life in there, bro. He got caught. He's doing it. Now he's like, I'm here. Niggas in prison don't give a fuck that he was pissing on girls. Yeah. Niggas in prison piss on niggas in prison. So they're like, yo, I do it too.
Nah. I ain't gonna front, bro. If you ain't been locked up, you can't really say that, because when it comes down to kids, pedophilia, bro, we don't let that shit rock.
But he wasn't attacking kids. But he wasn't attacking kids. But he wasn't attacking kids. You feel me?
She was.
That's still somebody's daughter at the end of the day.
Nah, I don't
feel
like
14, bro. That's a baby still. Regardless if you can say okay.
Aaliyah?
Nah, Aaliyah.
He pissed on a kid.
He
Aaliyah,
pissed on
right?
a girl, yeah.
That's who she.
No, there
That's
was
who.
another one. There's
No,
Yeah, it was
another
another
girl.
somebody
it was
else.
another
Yeah.
So
girl.
he be.
But
Oh,
Aaliyah, yeah, Aaliyah was underage.
He
when
married
was
he
messing with her.
married Aaliyah underage for
so
sure.
he
That was
pisses.
weird as
He
hell.
pissed on
But
more
it's
women.
not weird because we're from
Yeah, that
Dominican
was
Yes.
Republic.
Oh
In
my.
Dominican Republic,
I was about to
16-year-olds
say,
get
nah,
married,
the
15-year-olds
Dominican
get
Republic,
married.
that's normal. The Dominican Republic, that's
It's
normal.
not normal. It's not
Nah, in
normal.
the Dominican Republic is
No, 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 no,
normalized,
no, no,
bro.
no, no,
Stop
no.
that.
You know what I'm
It's
trying to get
normal.
at?
It's normalized. I
Let's
know
It's
what you
say
not
mean,
it.
but it's
Hold on,
normal,
hold on, Andy.
normalized.
Hold
but
on,
it's
hold on, Andy. Let him
normalized
talk.
in
Let him
the
talk.
It's normalized.
A golden
Yeah, it's
shower is
normalized.
normalized.
No, no, no.
No, no, no.
Marrying young girls,
Bro,
marrying younger
it's
girls.
normalized.
I mean,
It's
yo,
I
normalized.
mean,
yo,
nowadays, water sports.
I could find
It's
you a whole
normalized in
category.
America
I could
too.
find you a whole category in Pornhub about golden showers,
Bro,
though.
it's yeah, it's normalized in
Hey,
America too.
yo,
I
In
believe
the
you.
Breakfast
I'll
Club,
take your. You did the
I'll
math.
take
bro,
I'll
care.
take your
bro,
information and go off that.
it's normalized in America too. In the Breakfast Club, right? A nationally syndicated global radio show that pops up in the
Mhm.
morning. Literally did a whole thing where people were calling in talking about why they like to pee on women. And dudes and women was talking about dudes was like, yeah, it just loves doing that. The woman was like, I like the warmth. The warmth feels
Yeah.
so good, like some shit like that. Like it's normalized here too.
Let's just not overlook the women, signifying that they are of age. Let's just make sure we good on that one.
Oh nah, yeah,
Because
yeah. I didn't know R. Kelly was a serial peer.
it's pissing on kids. That shit
I
ain't
didn't-
cool. Fuck them
yeah.
kids, but we don't piss on kids. What the fuck?
No, that's a lot.
We don't
Nah,
fuck
that's
on
a
kids
lot.
either.
But he's
Hey,
still living his.
that wasn't a good
Hey,
choice of words
hey,
either.
hey,
That
you
wasn't a
say
good
kids
choice of
again.
words
Like, we love them.
Terrifying.
either. Like,
Fuck out of
apparently,
here.
But
he said,
regardless,
Jay,
like,
hold up.
yeah, like regardless, like these niggas are still
Don't
living
clip that
their
and put me
best.
out of content. I'm trying to
R.
get
Kelly-
famous, not that type of famous.
R. Kelly is
Yo,
still.
but that's the clip.
That's
That's
not
the
the clip.
clip. That's the other clip right there.
Nah, he's gonna
No.
get canceled for that. It should go.
We got-
He
We're
gonna
we
all
got-
get
getting canceled, Mama Gamer. We
I didn't
won't make it a
start and you
week.
canceled me. Goddamn.
This is gonna implode in a week.
We got Ishigo saying he
Faster
likes
than
to
the
suck
bloodline.
dick.
Matter of fact, that might be my Kanye shit right there. Yeah, and then I'm gonna promote myself a week later.
Dang. I
Yeah,
apologize.
but-
No,
but
real Hollywood is real Hollywood.
Real
An
quick, 'cause I have
apology
to
letter?
go. I
Oh.
have to go. I have to go bathe my daughter. But
All right,
this could
Papa.
be your segue for the next talk. Mental health for men.
Oh yeah,
For
say
men,
your
'cause,
segment. Yeah,
there's not a lot of
say-
help for fucking men.
before you
There's
go,
not, and
say
we
all
are
your
gonna talk
points.
about that, bro,
Say
because
all
that's
your-
a
Now-
topic I really did want to
Now,
touch.
my shit could be off, but this is half-ass research. But the numbers change every day. Over a half a
bro.
million a year, over 40K a month, over 1K a month, and over 60 men per hour commit suicide. So if you gotta fucking talk to someone, talk. Don't think it's pussy not to talk.
I
Fuck
don't,
all that,
I don't, bro.
Right.
I'm a
Fuck all that.
pro advocate for men
'Cause-
mental health, bro.
Me
bro.
too.
Because
Me
I
too. Definitely. 100%.
Especially as
grew
a
up-
single father, I advocate for that shit, bro.
bro.
Hold on,
Because I
hold on,
grew up,
Johnny.
and
Hold on, Johnny.
I grew up, and I was raised by women to never talk
too.
about your feelings to another woman. I really
Also,
believe in that narrative.
Men
I
do that to
believe in
their
that
son
narrative.
as well. Men
Yep,
do that to
so-
their son. They, oh, boys are not supposed to cry, or you're not supposed to
Hell
have
no.
feelings,
Not,
and that's
not
all
on my
right.
side.
Have your feelings. Have your fucking
You
feelings.
open,
Cry if
man.
you have
It's
to.
okay
Do
to
whatever you
cry.
gotta do.
It's
But just
okay
know
to
at
not
the
be
end of the
okay.
but it's okay at the end of the day if you want to be the man that handles whatever you gotta handle, it's what God made you for. But it's okay to shed a tear. Shed the fucking tear. Let that shit
It's
out.
alright to break down, bro.
100%.
Break that out.
And-
Just want to say
And as a man, bro, I could openly say that sometimes it's scary to open up, and that shit really
very
be holding
open up.
men back.
That shit almost fucked up my marriage.
Yeah.
Bro, that shit
Mhm.
almost took my own life, bro. That's why I say when it comes to mental health, I advocate for that shit, bro.
Right.
Because it is a huge thing, especially when you don't got nobody, you got no family, no support, you raising kids by yourself, you going through life on life's terms. Nigga, shit becomes a lot.
No.
Yeah,
And
and
then
even
when
if you have, people around you, it's like they expect to see you a certain way. So it's like you can't show weakness because they expect you to be a certain way. They expect you to be strong because you are the man, and you're supposed to brush it off. It's not always like that. You know what I mean? Sometimes men they go through their own personal shit, and they can't really show it because now is displaying weakness. You know what I mean? So
Weakness.
it's
Now
like
you a bitch. Now you not a
Right.
man. Now it's man up. Like you could get through it. And it sucks
Right.
nowadays because you have so many strong-willed, independent women that when a man does decide to open up, they've been doing it for so long on their own, they get hit with the, well, we've been doing it. Oh, we killing it. Well, if I got through it, you could get through it too. Don't be a bitch, man up. Get through it. You'll be all right. And niggas don't
Right.
realize, and people don't realize that that sentence right there, you'll be all right, it's gonna be okay, cause sometimes be the worst thing you could say to somebody who's reaching out.
Right.
It's
Especially
Because
when
true.
it's
they're
the
in the
experience.
breaking point.
It's
Exactly,
the,
cause
I
it's
feel
like,
like it's the
yo,
experience, you know? Like for if you're somebody that's been emotional all your life, that cries all the time, that doesn't let that, you know, deprive them of like feeling emotional when something is happy and going full emotional when something is sad. I feel like that's where they're trying to get at when they say that to me. But I'd be like, you got to know the difference of like how many times you've been able to do it and people either applauded you or consoled you or embraced you for it versus how many times we have to do it that we don't get the chance to actually do it as much as we should. Because I'm sorry, I watched Coco nigga and cried like a motherfucker because I thought about other shit. I wasn't thinking about just the movie. I was thinking about them. If I died, would they remember me or care for me?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
you self portrayed.
I went
That's called
all the
self
way back
portraying.
there and had imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
because we're part of these communities. We have this Twitch thing. We have families, all that stuff, and we still that shit could come crashing down at any given moment. And is how many times have you been able to like break like open up that like you know how Superman does it that he's like
Yeah,
this
you.
quickly he could
How
take
many
off
times
his
have you put
thing.
your heart on your sleeve, type shit?
And like,
Um,
bro, getting it like told by somebody that just like that happens to me all the time type shit, and I'm okay. Like, that's how is that supportive? You know?
Right.
Yeah, and
it's
that's where it comes in with today's day and age, man. A lot of people don't understand how to be caring for someone other than themselves. Because you can't even front, man, for the past 15, 20 years, motherfuckers have been this whole dialogue of, it's all about me, I cut off who I need to, and it's been very selfish. And although being alone is a good teacher, it is a horrible master. And people have come to master the art of being alone that now they've become numb to giving care and love to other people.
yeah, so I love this topic. It's actually so sensitive for me.
Yeah.
It's so sensitive for me, but so exactly what Ichigo said, exactly what Jonathan said. Actually, what all you guys said, it's like so spot on. But it's such a hard time in today's era. Like like I was talking to
Yeah.
Smurf about it. I think my boy Smurf. Shout out to Smurf. Shout out to Nova. That's his music name. I keep on forgetting. I could call him Nova instead of Smurf. But shout out to Nova. Music's coming out soon, man. But like
Mm.
y'all don't know him like I know him. But like when I met Smurf in high school, when I tell you Smurf was the guy, social butterfly, content creator dude, mad energetic, always out there talking to people, like hanging out with the baddies, like and then through life, and because he isolated himself so much, now me and Smurf have conversations where Smurf is like, yo, I like we was watching, what was it, WrestleMania, where we was all in there together, Ichigo,
Mhm.
right? We was all in there for WrestleMania. He was like, yo, bro, I love that. But he was like, but it was killing me inside because there was so many people. And now I'm antisocial. And every time he heard a Discord entering, his body shut down, and he had to do these things, and he hates that about himself, and that's true. Isolation fosters depression 100%. That nobody
Oh,
understands.
100%.
Isolation is great. You feel me? You should learn to love being by yourself. But when you get to that
Hmm.
moment where you love only being by yourself, that's where it starts getting a problem. Like I'm low key, like I dance on that line a lot. It's in the situation that I'm in, where it's like I like my peace. I like my island, you know?
Right.
That's my coconut tree. That's my little crab over there. I got my fucking cat. Everything's calm over here, When I invite people into my island, that's where it starts getting clouds and stuff like that. And it's never, and that's not a healthy thing to keep isolation to yourself. And it's
Yeah.
hard for people in our generation because, like, Merlin's much, you guys are all much older than me and Johnny. But growing up, right? Especially me growing up in the Bronx, right? It was a community. You feel me? Every weekend there was a block party. If you needed something, if you needed a cup of rice, I could go next door to Miss Cheryl, knock on her door. Miss Cheryl, I'm so sorry to bother you. Oh no, it's okay. Oh no, it's okay, baby. What do you need? I just need a cup of rice. Here you go. Have a whole bag. I just got a bunch. Thank you, Miss Cheryl. You feel me? And it was all supportive. Oh, Miss Cheryl, I'm going through a problem. Oh, I'm gonna help you out here. You're gonna talk to my pastor. And it was very communicative. We was always supportive. And I grew up thinking that life was gonna be like that forever. When I become an adult, I'm gonna have these Miss Cheryls and these people that are gonna connect with me and support me as I support them. But then you start to come to learn that in this new age of people, it's really selfish. You feel me? I got to get my plate first and then worry about your plate. It comes into that saying where, like, when you're in the airplane and they tell you, like, if you're crashing and the oxygen mask comes down, they say,
Put yours
"Hey,
on first.
put yours on first and then the babies." Everybody has that mindset for everything. And it's like, "Damn, nigga, but if that baby has no arms, nigga. And you could put your shit on twice as fast as that little baby with T-Rex arms. Just clip, done. You feel me? Like, that's how I learned how to live life. But life, as people nowadays are super selfish. And then not only are they selfish, they're super delusional where they believe that their selfish antics are justified in a noble way. Oh, I don't have time to help you. I gotta take care of my kids. I gotta be a good mom. I gotta be a good dad. Oh, I can't worry about this. I gotta work. I got bills to pay. And it's like everybody has that. Johnny has kids. You have a kid. Mama Gamer has kids. Ichigo doesn't have a kid, but Ichigo has a job. Like, we all have lives and problems that makes our plate full. But the whole reason why we have friends, the whole reason why we have friendships, is so that when that friend goes, "Yo, bro, my plate is pretty full. I kind of need help." You be like, "Yo, bro, I got you." Even
Right.
when
Yeah.
Right.
even when that
Most
other friend tells you, "Hey, yo, isn't your plate full?" Yeah, bro. Don't even worry about that. You know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
I'm
not
staying for
like
that
that.
ice
It's
cream.
not like that no more. And for men, it hurts us because we have this alpha male pill mentality now, right? We're like, Fresh and Fits, the Andrew Tates, the all those other peoples. That's like, fuck bitches. You gotta be on your own. You gotta take creatine. You gotta sniff coke on the fucking weekends. You gotta fucking bench press all that shit. And if a bitch tries to give you a pussy, you tell her haram. That's fucking disgusting. I want to marry you and then fuck other bitches while you stay at home and clean. And it's like, that's so unhealthy for men too, because
Right.
now men, like, well, not like me, because I could get bitches, but men that can't get bitches and shit, right? Right? That have these problems, they're like, okay, I'm alone, I'm gonna do this. And then you do this, and then you're still alone because now you're a douchebag that nobody wants to be with except for clout chasing bozos and bimbos. And then you're gonna get more depressed, and then we're all back here all over again.
Right. Because
Hey,
you're not
depressing
taking
fit.
the right people that you should be.
Yeah, that's that. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Mama Gamer. Going to the right person is so important. Like, I went to the wrong person, and that shit took me to the whole cuckoo house. Like, it's like that trail of events is like, and then like every time I talk to someone about it, they go, "Why didn't you come to me though?" And it's like, I don't even know why I didn't go to you. I don't know why I didn't go to you. I don't know why I didn't go to you. I don't know why I didn't go to you. It's like when you're in
Right.
that
It's the
state,
moment.
Listen, yeah, I gotta
yeah.
finish getting my kids situated for bed. It was a pleasure being in here with y'all.
Of course. Yeah, we're actually gonna wrap
Hey,
this up anyway
back
too, man. I
on.
appreciate
Yeah,
you,
man.
bro.
Hit me on the next one, man. I'll be here if y'all need me.
Got you, bro. Appreciate it.
All right,
But
bro.
a
Yeah, have
hundred
a good night.
percent, the
All
right
right.
person is super important for men and for women too. Like, I feel like men's mental health is super important, but women's mental health is just that important. Like, nobody, like, yeah, nobody talks about my dad when he used to go through it. But like, I remember there was times when I was young and I would like wake up, like wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we had the game consoles in the living room. We wasn't allowed to have it in our room, so I'll sneak in to the living room, turn on the TV, play my Super Nintendo, and sometimes like I'll hear my mom crying, just weeping,
Yeah.
weeping, weeping, and I'll be there like, oh shit. And when I was younger, I didn't know like, oh, she's crying, she's probably having a mental break. But it's like women have that, single parents have that, people have that overall, and it's very
And
important.
also back then, sorry, Sage,
No,
but
yeah,
back then, postpartum depression was not a thing. Definitely was not. And I went through it with my second child, and I tried so hard you know, with this one that it sometimes it does get overwhelming, but I try to think about everything else, like my kids need me and everything else, and also my partner who's there, who's so supportive for me, that also helps, and you guys as well, but
shout out
you
to
know
Merlin magic,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
magic.
you know,
Hey,
something I want to add is that I believe everybody needs healing. Everybody has gone through some type of
Yeah,
trauma.
yeah,
Everybody's going through shit. The thing is, there's a lack of knowledge on how to heal. People don't know how to heal. They bring out the trauma, they'll take it out on other people, or they'll deal with it in a form where they're hurting themselves. How
yeah,
do you heal from depression, from trauma? This is something that it's not talked about enough, because
hmm
people they'll bring out the problem, right? How do you solve that problem? People they talk about the problem, but how do you solve it?
exactly.
right.
That's
I
not
love
really
I
talked
love
about,
that you just
you know
said
what's
that.
so amazing
you know?
about this? We so as you know, I work in a hospital, and Mama Gamer can attest of what I do for a living, because we have a connection. That we have a study, right? And it actually goes back to, even, well, we're not talking about tariffs. I'm assuming that's going to be like next week or some shit like that. We'll go get somewhere in there, but
Let's show
we have a
up.
lot of different
Okay.
research studies, right? One of my
Yeah.
research studies, well, they shut another one down, but this was a while back. It has to do with mental health during the pregnancy. Our goal is to get as many patients as possible in this study that are pregnant as soon as they're like 2 months in, so that they can have the resources available. And I have patients that is, it's kind of a little bit messed up, because if it's a patient that already has, like, clinically has had mental breaks, and they put them on medication and all of the things, they're not chasing after those people. They want everybody else, because it's somebody that we've already been dealing with, so they've already getting their help that they need. But it's so crazy when I talk to so many patients about this kind of stuff, that's like, depression is real. It's not a thing. And I've had best friends that have sat with me, and while we're making music, his girl's depressed and he's not paying attention of what's happening. Because I do what I do, I was like, that's not normal. That's not
hmm
regular. And he's
Mhm.
like, nah, she's fine. She just cries from time to time. And I was like, that's not normal. It's
no.
not regular for her. And she
Sorry.
broke down with me, and like, she broke down with me, and we were like
Wow,
watching
that's
a movie and shit
crazy.
like that, and she just like
Yeah.
broke down, and the movie wasn't even sad. And I was like, okay, hold up. And like, I kind of like approached him about it, because I spoke to my doctor too, and I was like, doc, I got a list of symptoms, you tell me what you think. I bring in hypotheticals to see how they feel, and
Exactly.
then
Yep.
go from there, because doctors are not just supposed to give you medical advice. It's not
Yeah.
legal to just do it like that unless you're a patient, whatever. So he tells me, yeah, that's postpartum depression, bro. Why? And he's like, no, 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 I just needed to figure something out. And I slowly walked my best friend into like knowing what
Yeah.
that is. Cause nigga, I have mental health issues myself that I don't talk about to nobody. But my outlet is music. That's the only thing that, like, you know, keeps the reins in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm
each person kind of like, you gotta develop something. Like, Mama Gamer's motivation is her own bloodline of like, we gonna make it out of this. You know what I'm saying? We gotta
Yeah.
keep it up. You know what I'm saying? Marlins could be something else. Sage found something. You know what I'm saying? We all found something, and it's like, damn. why is the education not stronger when I talk to so many people that just have no information at all to attest to Merlin's um point? So many people. I'm talking about hundreds. I talked to like at least 300 people a month
Wow.
about research and shit. And it's just like so many of our own people don't even you get the halves. You get the half
Mhm.
that that's some other shit. We don't do this, and I'm like, hold up, I gotta dig deeper for that part because I have the others that understand it. I have the ones that they don't really care for it much, and I have the others that are like, we never got educated enough, and I'd be
But
like,
also in
damn,
our culture is like not educated enough neither. People were like, "Oh, just brush it off. You'll be okay."
Yeah.
It's
The thing
it's
is, if you look at it like this, the mind is like a computer, right? And it could be programmed. So if you look at depression as a mental thing that's in your mind, and it's not a good thing, let's say it's like a virus, maybe like a computer virus, and you need to eliminate it, right? You need to cleanse it to eliminate it. There's ways of you going into your mind to reprogram that part of your mind in order to eliminate that, that virus, the
yep,
depression. A lot of people don't know how to go in with them themselves. You know, meditation is a way, and that's one of the best ways to do it. But there's
yep.
ways of going into your mind to reprogram it. You know,
Even
Yeah.
like
and that's
s-
like,
oh,
a way of healing.
that's that's an interesting conversation. Like give me a number. How many people do you think in the world out of the seven something billion that we have like actually know how to control their minds properly?
I
a
would
thousand.
I would say not even a billion, bro. Not even a billion.
I'll say a
Mm-mm.
thousand. A
Not even
thousand.
a billion, because if I tell you, if enough people knew how to tap into their mind, there wouldn't even be wars, bro. Because if they understand
Mm,
vibrations and frequencies, they'll understand that love, unconditional love, is the highest vibrating frequency that there is, and that's gonna bring the whole world together.
yep.
But we are still vibrating on war. We still
We're
vibrating low. You know what I
we're
mean?
in
And
and being controlled by government.
And that's the
yeah,
thing too. And
I
that
do,
like the
government
do
is
you feel
world
like
needs
the
pushing.
to wake up.
government keeps that energy like that?
Of course.
Because I feel like sometimes I watch the news every day. I watch it for the weather, but I pick and choose the articles of like this is bullshit, this is cap, this is a conspiracy being thrown out there to throw us from like this
Hmm.
other subject that just
Listen,
happened.
if you keep the population vibrating in fear, you can control them.
100%.
And that's
100%.
what's going on.
And that's the biggest problem. Like he's absolutely right. Like like he said, not even a billion. Like, and I think Merlin's so generous for that. Like, I wouldn't even say like to be honest. I'll say like probably 10,000. And of those 10,000, 90% of the people that know how to control their mind are like Tempest monks that live in like the mountains or something that don't even know. Cause like regular minded people, they don't even teach you that in regular stuff. They don't even teach you. They teach you how to like instead of clearing your mind to keep your mind calm, especially in America, they teach you to keep your mind chaotic and work in that chaos.
Yep.
That's how champions
Yep.
work when you're in the hecticness and you see all that stuff. And it's like it's so mis like misleading to people because he's absolutely right. Like if you frequency out of frequency of just straight love, where your mind is straight blank and you're just straight understanding. There's no ego that gets in your way. There's no this land is my land. I've had it longer than you. There's no oil problems. You just yeah, you want this? Oh
No
yeah, we have
greed.
yeah. We'll give you this. We'll have this much land. Like that's the all Palestine Israel beef in a nutshell. People not having the mental hierarchy in themselves to actually communicate and go, all right, bet you guys want land, bet we'll give you this much land, we'll have this much, everything's fine, we can share the crops and livestock where like you get your money from us importing it from you guys. There's so many other ways that they can solve these problems where like, hey, we all make money at the end, we all get power, and we're all chilling. There's really no problems to be dropping bombs. But they don't want you to think like that. And when it comes to a mental health problem, right, they want you to stay on fear. They don't want you to be mentally healthy at all.
Yep.
Right.
They want
Because
you
That's
to
we have
really
keep on
right.
going to the doctor.
Yeah, they don't want you to be healthy at all. You're absolutely right. They want you to continue going to the doctor. My mom has a giant bag full of straight pills that she uses for everything. For her bladder lining, for her fucking colon, for her fucking gout that she doesn't have anymore that she has to stop using, for her lupus, for everything. She has the pills for everything. And it's like, yo,
Let me ask you something. Who's the real drug addict then?
yo, you know what's funny? When I was here, that's actually a really sad story. When I
Who's
was
the
here,
real junkie?
my
And it's
mom,
not
when
a
I
junkie in a negative fashion. It's like it's
no,
just in general of what the
no,
term is supposed to have called the person versus like
you're
society as a whole
absolute.
bring everybody in
You're absolutely right.
and be
And I
like,
remember when I first came here, when I first moved here, I was smoking weed, and my mom had such a negative thing on it. Like my mom thought, like if I smoke weed, I'm an addict. I do meth. I suck dick in the corner for money. All that stuff. She was thinking everything. So one time we're arguing about it, and I was so fed up about it, I brought that same aspect up. I was like, yo, you think I'm an addict, but you pop more pills than anybody I know in the world. And that shit broke her down so much because it's not even true. Like she doesn't take narcotics. My mom doesn't take Vicodin. My mom doesn't. She has them there. She actually gives them back to the hospital. When she goes to the hospital, she's like, here, I don't use these no more. And they be like, we can't take them. Like that's illegal. We can't take drugs that you're giving back to us. Like it'd be really like it's like she doesn't use none of that stuff. But
you're supposed to not pick up the prescription.
yeah, that's what they tell her. Like, yo, just don't pick it up. So she doesn't pick up the Vicodin stuff no more. So when I go pick it up, I'm like, yo, give me that, and you can just leave that. And the pharmacy people, they be surprised. They be like, you don't want this? No. Are you sure?
I actually had a few like good patients because we gave them oxy, right? And this
Yeah.
was a pregnant woman who had a C-section, so lots of pains
You have to
Mhm.
give them
after
something.
the
Yeah.
recurrent pains that come in from the epidural and the fact that we
They
opened
gave me
you
that
up.
shit after I gave birth.
Oye, mamá, que me was in cloud nine. Oye,
No,
I
no,
didn't
you
know.
was high already then. Like, you
I
chilling.
don't know.
You
You know what I'm
chilling.
saying? But
Like,
I had so many people give those they so like say they tried to give it back and we were like we
yeah.
can't take them back, we already like gave you the thing,
Yeah.
and they're like all right best, I'm gonna throw them in the toilet, and I will hear them like flush them down. I'm like, girl, if you only knew how much money you make that shit in the street.
Nigga,
But
I told my
and then
mom
I was like,
that.
oh,
I
it was
told my
like,
mom
girl,
that.
you throwing them out, and she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna take that shit, I don't want it,
No, I don't want it.
I'll take
It's
the.
not good
I'm
for
willing
you.
to go through the pains
Yeah.
myself and take a,
Mhm.
aspirin or like ibuprofen or one of them joints instead of taking this. I was like, is it a moral thing or is it just like you're so afraid of what happens
It's the fear.
to the drug addicts that you thought you're gonna
It's a
fall on it?
fear.
Because we've my dad, when he got burned on last summer, God bless him, he back to annoy me every day. Um, they gave him all of those things because my dad's pain was 50,000. It wasn't, how they do, oh, from 1 to 10, it's like 50,000. So he's like, oh shit, we gotta give you like, ¿cómo que se llama la K2? What's the name of the
Um,
K2? The official one? Like,
fucking, it's like sounds like kryptonite,
coño,
but
la
it's
vaina que
not.
está en la calle, Merlin.
Mhm.
K2, la droga que está en la calle, fentanyl.
Oh,
Fentanyl.
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 Sorry. K2 y fentanyl son diferentes cosas. My bad. Don't
Mad
come for
different. I
me.
was
I
thinking
know
something
they're
else.
different.
I was thinking something
And
else. Yeah.
they were gonna give him fentanyl, and he was like, and he's looking at me crazy, and I was like, Dad, you do know that's regular medication. It's just that niggas in the streets are using it differently.
A
Like
street,
that's
yeah.
regular
Right.
meds.
It's like meth. Meth is
But
street used.
but
Like,
because my dad is a street guy, he's his brain is it has an open his mind is more open. You know what I'm saying? He's seen a lot of shit, been around the shit, been the first out of the family from New York, from DR to get to New York. He was in the music scene, so you already know the 80s and the 90s was wild.
yeah.
He's like he's thinking that I felt like in his head he thought he was gonna become a junkie, and I was like, nah, that's medication for you to take, because there's certain one of those drugs like oxygen, like if you take it as medication to heal your pain, it will heal your pain. It goes to like what Merlin said, like their mind made it an addict
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
formula,
They're programmed
because in
that way.
Right.
Yeah.
reality we all control ourselves. We don't have to pick up the lighter and light up a L, or this person sniff this or this person take that. Like your mind literally, because you wake up and you don't like you wake up and your body doesn't tells you you're gonna die if you don't inhale this. It's just something you do. So it's very 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 interesting to know that folks are
Yeah.
not educated on mental health.
Mm-mm.
People use these type of things to numb themselves. They come back and they still not figured out how to like open up their mind all the way through. And I've read The Power of Now, which is an amazing fucking book.
Mm.
Yep.
That joint teaches you so much about life and the structure of society and how
Yep.
it's built versus enlightenment, and what your
Right.
mind, if you use it to 100%, is really gonna actually tell you. And I was just like, damn. Like it even tells you about your work hours, your 9 to 5s that like are depressed and miserable all the time. And it's like, damn,
Because
the
because
outlook
you're
on time and life is just so
because you're
different
repeating
once
the
you read
process.
that.
Yeah.
Because you analyze the whole process, which damn, we should give little kids the power of now to see where their mind will go.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
I say that when I was so like I was talking to my mom and
I hope
she
you're not
was
still recording. This is an hour and 35 minutes.
yeah,
You are
I
in Tag
know.
Team Showdown. Welcome
Alright,
back, sir. Mister,
we're
I'm
gonna
only gonna do an hour.
we're gonna end it. We're gonna end it after. Yeah, we're actually we're just gonna end it here. Actually, yeah, it's an hour. Yeah, okay. So we're actually gonna end it here. This actually
Abandono esta tierra
this is great. This is
perdida.
actually Matt awesome. We're actually gonna end it here. We'll pick this up for part two. This is a bi-weekly episode, y'all. Okay. So, but I do want to thank you guys as I leave here. This was actually ideal. Like this was great. This is awesome. Give Yaya flowers. Mama Gamer didn't have her camera on the whole time, but it's cool. All right.